My girlfriend announced, "I'm inviting my ex to the party. You just need to be mature about it." I replied, "That's fine, the more the merrier." At the party, in front of all our friends, I introduced my new girlfriend. It was his sister. When they both froze, Owen, 36 male, had been with Maya, 34, for 6 years. Our life in Portland, Oregon, was a carefully curated exhibition of her social ambitions. We lived in a sleek, modern condo in the Pearl District, a space filled with minimalist art and furniture that she had chosen to reflect our brand. I was a logistics analyst for a large shipping firm, earning a steady $110,000 a year. Maya was a brand manager for a high-end cosmetics company, a job that brought her $120,000 and a place at the center of the city's marketing elite. Our social life was a calendar of her company's product launches, dinners at places like Departure, and weekends with her friends, a group that increasingly included her ex-boyfriend, Finn. Don't miss the twist. Subscribe and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. The opportunity that would ultimately change my life arrived on a gray, drizzly morning. It was a formal offer from an agricultural technology firm in San Diego, California. They were developing innovative solutions for vertical farming and sustainable agriculture. They wanted me to be their new director of global logistics. It was a massive career leap. The offer included a base salary of $200,000, a significant bonus structure, a full relocation package, and a new Land Rover Defender as a company vehicle. I told Maya about it that evening, my voice filled with a genuine excitement she hadn't heard in years. I described the challenge, the chance to build a new supply chain from the ground up, the vision of a life in the sun. She listened with the polite, distant air of someone waiting for a meeting to end. "San Diego?" she asked, a delicate frown forming. "It's so laid back, and agricultural technology. It sounds so unglamorous, Owen." She shook her head, her tone final. "My career is here. My network is here. You can't expect me to trade that for your little farming project." Her friendship with Finn had also become a point of contention. When I expressed my discomfort with his constant presence, she would dismiss my feelings with a simple, cutting phrase. "You just need to be mature about it," she would say. Update 1, I quietly accepted the San Diego offer. Maya's casual dismissal of my ambition, coupled with her insistence that I be mature about her inappropriate closeness with her ex, was a clarifying combination. My life was being defined by her needs, and my feelings were an inconvenience. She continued her campaign of quiet condescension. Over cocktails with our friends, she sighed with performative sadness. "Owen has this idea to take a job in California," she said. "It's a step back, really, but I think he needs a change of pace." She would also praise Finn's maturity. "It's so refreshing to have a friendship with an ex where there's no drama," she would say, her eyes glancing at me. "Finn is just so emotionally intelligent." Our friends, taking their cues from her, offered their sympathies. "You have to think about her career, man," one of them said. "She's building something important here." I offered no defense. I had already begun my own logistical preparations. I opened a new set of private bank accounts. I spent my evenings researching modern condos in La Jolla, a beautiful coastal neighborhood in San Diego. I also began to cultivate a quiet, unexpected friendship. I had met Finn's sister, Clara, at a work event a few months prior. She was a landscape architect, thoughtful and genuine, the complete opposite of her arrogant brother. We connected over a shared love for design and a quiet frustration with the performative social scene we both inhabited. Our conversations, first by text and then by phone, became a refuge of authenticity. Update 2, I chose a Sunday morning to make my decision final. The condo was filled with a sterile, curated silence. "Maya, I've accepted the position in San Diego," I stated. "I'm moving in 2 months." Her face, which had been relaxed as she scrolled through her social media feed, hardened into a mask of disbelief. "You actually went through with it?" "After I told you how damaging it would be to my career." "I did," I confirmed. "This is the most important work I could ever do." "Your work," she scoffed. "And what about my life? What about our life?" "Our life seems to include 3 people," I replied, my voice even. "And I'm not interested in being the third." She stood up, her eyes blazing with a cold fire. "This is about Finn, isn't it? You're being childish and insecure." You can grow up and accept our mature friendship, or you can go have your dusty, provincial fantasy alone. You don't get both. I thought of Clara, of our easy, honest conversations. I thought of what real maturity looked like. The choice was the easiest I had ever made. I choose my work, I answered. Update 3. The weeks that followed were a cold war of her making. Maya cycled through fits of rage and a dismissive certainty that I would come crawling back. She told our friends that I had left her out of insecurity, that I was unable to handle a modern, mature relationship. I remained detached, focusing on the meticulous logistics of my departure. I sold my Subaru Crosstrek, hired movers, and began the process of separating our shared possessions. On the day the movers came, Maya was gone. She had gone to a strategy offsite, for work, a final, deliberate act of indifference. I drove my new Land Rover Defender south, the green landscape of Oregon giving way to the golden hills of California. The first time I saw the Pacific Ocean from my new condo's balcony, I felt a sense of profound and welcome peace. My new office was a hub of innovation, filled with brilliant people working to solve real-world problems. I was finally in a place that felt real. My conversations with Clara deepened, and she made plans to visit me in San Diego. Update 4. 6 months in San Diego was a revelation. I was thriving. My work was challenging and deeply rewarding. I had successfully designed and implemented a new global supply chain for the company, a major achievement that was already saving the millions. The company's CEO was thrilled. I received a $50,000 performance bonus. I used it to furnish my new condo with pieces that reflected my own taste, not Maya's. I took up surfing, a humbling and exhilarating new passion. One evening, I received a text from an old friend from Portland. "Hey man, we're all so worried about Maya. She says you left because you were irrationally jealous of her friendship with Finn. She says you just weren't mature enough to handle it." I thought of Maya's constant refrain, her weaponized use of the word, mature. It was her shield against any accountability. I was no longer interested in trying to pierce it. I replied politely. "That was a difficult situation. I hope you are well." Update 5. My company was featured in a major business journal for its innovative logistics solutions. The article included a profile of my work, with my new title, Director of Global Logistics, featured prominently. The news spread through my old social circles. Maya's emails began that night. "Director, you let me believe it was a warehouse management job." One accused. "You deliberately downplayed your success to make me look bad." Another claimed. Then came the calls from our old friends, their voices now filled with a confused respect. My own family, who had been fed a carefully edited version of events from Maya, called to say they finally understood. The public, verifiable truth of my achievement was beginning to eclipse her private, manipulative fiction. Update 6. She appeared on my doorstep in La Jolla a month later. She had flown down unannounced, a desperate pilgrimage to the life she had discarded. She looked smaller, her usual confident energy replaced by a brittle, anxious uncertainty. "Owen," she began, her voice soft. "I was wrong. About everything." "What were you wrong about Maya?" I asked, my voice flat. "I was afraid," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I let my friendship with Finn get in the way of our relationship. I see now that it was a mistake. I've changed. I can move here. I can be the partner you deserve." I looked at her, and the memory of her constant refrain, "You need to be mature about it," was as clear as the blue California sky. "You didn't just have a friendship, Maya," I said. "You had a backup plan, and you used the idea of maturity as a weapon to silence my valid concerns." I was desperate, she insisted. "No," I replied calmly. "You were dishonest. There is no foundation to rebuild on." I stepped back inside. "Goodbye, Maya." Update 7. Her rejection fueled a final, vindictive act. A few weeks later, a mutual friend from Portland was hosting a large holiday party, a traditional gathering for our entire old social circle. I knew Maya would be there. I received a text from her. "I've invited Finn," she wrote. "I know it's hard for you, but it's time to finally grow up. You just need to be mature about it." I replied with a simple, cheerful message. "That's fine, the more the merrier." I flew to Portland for the party. Clara met me there. We had been dating for 3 months, building something real and quiet and beautiful. We walked into the party hand in hand. Maya saw us first, her face a mask of confusion. Then Finn saw us. He froze. Maya, seeing their stunned silence, walked over, her expression a mixture of anger and disbelief. "What is this?" she asked. I smiled, my voice calm and pleasant. "Maya," I said, "I'd like you to formally meet my new girlfriend, Clara." I turned to Finn. "Finn, it's good to see you. You remember your sister, right?" The silence that fell over their corner of the party was absolute. Every one of our old friends, the same friends who had heard Maya's stories of my immaturity, turned to look at them. Their carefully constructed narrative, the one where I was the jealous, insecure one, had just been publicly, spectacularly, demolished. Update 8, a year passed. My life in San Diego was peaceful, prosperous, and authentic. Clara had moved down to join me, starting a new, successful branch of her landscape architecture firm. Our life together was a partnership, built on a foundation of honesty and a shared love for the quiet beauty of the natural world. One evening, a final email from Maya arrived. Her friendship with Finn had, predictably, imploded after the party. Her reputation in their social circle had been shattered. She had left her job and was planning to move to a different city. "I built my life around a performance," she wrote. "And you showed everyone it was a lie. I am sorry for the pain I caused." I replied with a short, polite message. "I wish you peace." I blocked her email address. Final update, several months later, I was the guest of honor at a logistics industry awards dinner. After my speech, a distinguished older gentleman approached me. It was the CEO of Maya's old company. He shook my hand warmly. "Owen," he began, "a brilliant speech. I've been following your career, a remarkable trajectory." He paused, his expression turning serious. "I was sorry to hear about what happened with Maya. She was a talented brand manager, but her brand was always herself." He shook his head. "She used to talk about your immaturity regarding her ex. It's a funny thing, maturity. She thought it meant tolerating her bad behavior. You showed her it meant having the self-respect to walk away and build a better life." His words brought a quiet, final sense of resolution. I reflected on the lesson of the past 2 years. True maturity isn't about enduring disrespect in the name of peace. It's about having the clarity to recognize a toxic situation and the courage to remove yourself from it. Maya's demand for maturity was a cage she had tried to build around me. By walking out, I hadn't just found a new career and a new city. I had found a partner who valued honesty over performance, and in that quiet, authentic truth, I had finally found my peace.